1966, the CIA locked away a book that predicted the end of the world. It was hidden for more than half a century, and when it finally resurfaced, only fragments remained. What could be so dangerous that it had to be buried from the eyes of humanity? The book was called The Adam and Eve Story, written by Dr. Chan Thomas, an aerospace engineer and researcher who once worked for McDonnell Douglas. What he described wasn't fiction. It was a theory of global destruction, one that the CIA apparently believed was too close to the truth. Thomas claimed that Earth's history is not a straight line, but a repeating cycle, one in which civilization rises, flourishes, and then is almost completely erased. Each time, the reset comes suddenly and violently. It's not caused by asteroids or nuclear war, but by the Earth itself. According to Thomas, every few thousand years, the planet undergoes what he called a pole shift. The crust of the Earth slips over the molten layers beneath, tearing continents apart and drowning entire nations in oceans of fire and water. Mountains crumble, seas rise, and what was once the equator becomes the poles. Humanity, those who survive, is thrust back into the Stone Age. It sounds impossible, yet Thomas wasn't the first to suggest it. In the 1950s, another scientist, Charles Hapgood, proposed a similar idea, that the Earth's crust periodically shifts, displacing continents in a single, violent motion. Albert Einstein himself supported Hapgood's research, calling it a possible mechanism for great geological events. Thomas went further. He wrote that these shifts don't take millennia, they happen in less than a day. A single rotation, and the world we know is gone. He described the moment of catastrophe in terrifying detail. It begins with a low, distant rumble, too deep for human ears. Then the ground starts to move, not like an earthquake, but like a living thing. In the Pacific, the ocean rises into a wall of water 2 miles high, racing toward the continents. Winds scream faster than sound, shredding everything in their path. Cities vanish as the sky turns black. Within hours, entire regions are burned by molten rock bursting through the Earth's crest. Others are swallowed by oceans, then frozen solid as the planet's rotation jerks to a halt. When it ends, the poles have moved thousands of miles, the equator has shifted, and the world is unrecognizable. If that sounds like pure science fiction, Thomas insisted it was history, one that had already happened many times. Each time the poles shifted, almost all life was wiped out. But survivors always remained scattered groups who rebuilt from nothing, carrying fragments of knowledge that would one day seed the next civilization. He wrote that we are not the first advanced humans to walk this earth. We are at least the 6th. Before us came others, civilizations lost to time, swallowed by floods and fire. It's not just his claim. Across the planet, flood myths tell the same story. The Bible's Great Flood, the Sumerian tale of Utnapishtim, the Mayan flood of Hurricane, the ancient Hindu accounts of Manu, the legends of Nu in Hawaii, all describe a global cataclysm that wiped the world clean. Hundreds of cultures, thousands of years apart, all remember the same thing, the end of the world by water. Modern science tells us that sea levels have indeed risen and fallen many times, sometimes abruptly. Massive floods carved landscapes, buried valleys, and left behind strange ripples in stone, the fingerprints of catastrophe. Thomas believed that the last great shift wasn't 11,000 years ago, as most scientists say, but closer to 6,500 years ago. Around that time, evidence shows floods in China, in the Mediterranean, in the Black Sea, right when he said they occurred. He tied these disasters to the destruction of Atlantis and of another lost continent, Mu, said to have stretched across the Pacific Ocean. Myths from South America to Japan speak of an advanced civilization drowned beneath the sea, leaving behind only fragments, strange monuments, impossible engineering, and gods who promised to return. If Thomas was right, these weren't myths, they were memories, records of previous worlds erased in each reset. But the most chilling part of his book wasn't what had happened before. It was what's coming next. Thomas described a process inside the Earth, a thin molten layer beneath the crust that normally remains solid because of the planet's magnetic stability. But when that magnetic structure becomes disordered, he wrote, the crust begins to slip like ice on water. The poles move toward the equator, and the shell of the Earth rotates freely. When this happens, the atmosphere and oceans don't move with the land. The air and water keep spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour, tearing across the planet, destroying everything. In less than a day, continents are rearranged, civilization erased. Was he right? For decades, mainstream science dismissed the idea as pseudoscience. Yet many of the phenomena Thomas described have been confirmed, though on a smaller scale. Major earthquakes have slightly shifted Earth's axis and even shortened the length of a day. We know that the planet's magnetic poles wander constantly, and lately they've been moving faster than ever. The North Magnetic Pole has been drifting from Canada towards Siberia at an accelerating pace, now over 40 miles per year. Meanwhile, the Earth's magnetic field is weakening rapidly. Scientists acknowledge that we are overdue for a magnetic reversal, a flip in which north becomes south and vice versa. During such reversals, Earth's magnetic shield weakens, leaving the planet vulnerable to solar radiation. Satellites could fail, power grids could collapse, the world could go dark. Thomas warned that the signs of a coming shift would be subtle, strange weather, rising seismic activity, unexplained changes in the planet's magnetism. And when the moment comes, there will be no warning, only silence. Then, chaos. So, why did the CIA classify his book? Maybe it wasn't because of fear of panic. Maybe it was because Thomas wasn't just speculating. He was an engineer who worked on classified aerospace projects during the Cold War, including those dealing with magnetic propulsion and anti-gravity. If anyone had seen evidence of magnetic instability inside the Earth, it might have been someone like him. When the Adam and Eve story was finally declassified decades later, only 57 pages were released, heavily sanitized. The rest remains missing. If what Thomas wrote was nonsense, why hide it? Maybe because some truths are too dangerous to confirm. If even a fraction of his theory is correct, it means our entire history, from Atlantis to now, is only one chapter in a repeating cycle of creation and destruction, okay? And that the next chapter may already be beginning. If this story made you question what we think we know about our world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes it's the secrets they hide are the ones that matter most.